Charity Gaming Guild proudly brings to you
Charity Gaming Guild presents
The Charity Gaming Guild presents
the
NatCon
Podcast.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to your community episode. Today, we are going to talk about the recent 12-hour event, the World Anvil, aka Wanvil. Wanvil. Wow, wow, wow. It was not that long ago for us recording, but it's probably about a month and a bit, maybe 2 months for those who were listening. So if you were at the event, cast your minds back, specifically for those VIPs, because this was the first time that we had a VIP event prior to the full day event. How did that go, guys? Because you all went. Was it fun? Was it entertaining?
It was.
Oh, I had pizza.
Papa John.
Yes.
I was on pizza duty.
Papa John.
I think it was interesting. It was good, wasn't it? It was,
Yeah. I think we learned a lot about how to make it work better next year.
Yep.
Okay.
Like there was some periods of time where we were waiting for some people to arrive and some people weren't sure what time it started, and then that kind of, we had to kind of get people's pizza orders in a little bit more quickly than we would have liked to. And yeah, so it's changed how we're doing it next year,
Okay.
but for the better. So that was good. The presentation went well. The pizza was very nice. I enjoyed the pizza a lot, actually. How was your seal pizza?
Yeah, it smelled a bit fishy.
It was good.
So what was the kind of agenda for the evening? What was the, because I didn't attend. So if I had attended, what would I have been experiencing?
So first of all,
turn up.
Sadness, deep sadness is what you'd have been
And
experiencing.
pizza.
The intense eye contact from Andy just said pizza.
so everyone arrived. Well, not everyone arrived. People arrived when they arrived, and they got given a premium foiled certificate, which was framed as well to protect the foiling.
They were very pretty.
They were very nice,
well
weren't
made.
they? They were very, very well made. Shout out to Toucan Crafts and more,
Woo-woo.
who made that for us. They got their lanyard as well,
Yeah.
which had their VIP status on the front and their VIP shard magic item on the back,
Nice.
which hardly anybody used on the day, but oh well. There was a bit of mooching, there was a bit of music, but not the Red Hot Chili Peppers because that kept getting skipped.
Oh.
Then Papa John did his pizza thing, and the little man, I was very impatient, wasn't I?
So, out of everybody there in the evening, the person who was giving me the most grief about where are the pizzas was Ash. In fact, he was the only person who was giving me grief
Is
over
that
where are the pizzas.
Because you were hungry, or
Yeah,
you were
he's
just on
hungry.
edge?
He's getting hangry.
I wanted to make sure our VIPs got the experience that they paid for, and I was hungry,
Okay.
mostly hungry.
He was hangry.
Okay. So you had a bit of aggro about pizzas.
John had aggro. Papa John had aggro about pizzas. Then the little man from Papa John turned up with a car literally full of pizza. Literally full, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So then we all had some pizza. There were some people spending some time in the Gosbeck Goose.
Go Goose.
All right. I was meant to be a goose, but it didn't come out very well. Then after the pizza, we had a little presentation. Some spoilers for the VIPs.
What did they get? The names of all the events until 2030,
30, I think.
2030?
Yeah, 2030, all of the events up to that. And a brief idea about what's going on as well, but not too much.
No.
No.
It was a little bit disappointing when I was asked to leave towards the end of that presentation because, by Ash's word, you probably won't be alive to see
I
next
didn't
one.
say that. Oh my God. I did not say that. You said that. Dear me, I don't know.
Okay.
The elderly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And in the presentation as well, there was also some spoilers about, well, not spoilers, but like teasing. What do you call it? Teasers? They're called teasers?
Yeah.
Teasers. About what's in our book that's coming out at the start of next year. So all the new classes, subclasses, equipment, backgrounds, etc., etc.
Nice.
Was there something else as well?
You did a bit of a Q&A as well.
Oh,
didn't you?
yeah, we did a
Some
Q&A.
stuff.
Yeah.
How was the Q&A? Because in the Discord it
Well-
was interesting the kind of topics people thought they were going to be asking about compared to what I think maybe was actually asked.
I'm trying to think exactly what was asked. There was a mix of things. Some of it was game stuff and world stuff, wasn't it, that was asked? There was a few, like, what's the charity's plan? What's the charity's stance on that sort of thing, wasn't there?
I just fielded all the difficult questions to Chris and just answered the easy ones.
Okay, and did he answer the difficult ones or did he just fob
No,
them off
he
on
then
someone
fielded them back to me.
else? Ah, yes.
There wasn't really any difficult questions, apart from Neil's opening question, which thankfully turned out to be a joke. So that was good.
Okay.
You can ask me about that in person. I'll tell you about that in person, not on the podcast. But yeah, that was it. And then everyone went their own way. Oh, people had early access to Duke and Crafts and all the bits and pieces that Amy was selling as well.
Nice.
And that was it, wasn't it? That was everything.
Yeah.
You were doing some magic tricks. Nothing new
absolutely.
there. Nothing new
Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, are you going to expand on one of the plans for next year's VIP?
there. I can do.
Ooh, are we getting an exclusive? Oh my.
2026's 12-hour game is called Rise of the Ancients, which we all know
nice.
already. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the VIP night, the night before, there will still be pizza from Papa John.
Not
It will-
the same pizza as before, fresh pizza.
Fresh pizza.
Yes,
it
just
will.
to
It,
clarify.
it will arrive on time.
Frozen it.
It will arrive on time.
Yeah.
Just reheat
go
it
on
in the little
I
microwave.
think maybe we'll order a bit earlier.
We can get people's orders in
In
beforehand and
advance
tell them
and
that the
that sort of
pizza will be
stuff.
there at past whatever, and if you're not here, Ash will eat it.
You may regret that.
I mean, there are
he will
Oh,
though.
wow,
No
wow.
doubt about it.
there are other pizza providers that we could perhaps.
Well, you can't because then it would be Papa John anymore.
You
It'd
can't have
be-
Papa John. Well, we could. Well, that's admin. We'll sort that later. There will also be, rather than a presentation, because I decided for some reason to go all the way up to 2030, so I've got nothing else to tell people anymore.
Fair enough.
So what we're doing instead is a prequel one-shot called.
Oh, you've named it.
Oh, I've named it.
You've named
I've
it.
named it.
Exclusive. You're getting it here first, guys.
The Ether Heart.
The Ether Heart. Oh my.
And I'm running it.
Oh,
I'm DMing it.
So-
I've had enough this year. I've not played D&D anywhere near enough. I want to run more games next year. So I'm running at the Adventure Day and Elite Adventures and all that stuff.
okay.
But also, I'm going to run the Ether Heart. And if we get more players than I can run a table for, Chris is going to have to run something.
I was going to ask, how many VIPs did we have?
Is
at
it
the
8,
event?
I think?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I could run a table for 8 players, no problem at all.
Yeah, but if you had more, and there may well be more with the attraction
Yep.
of,
I definitely think you'll get more this time
then
around.
you probably are going to need a second DM
Yeah, absolutely.
and 2 tables.
Yeah, we can run as many tables as we want.
Well, absolutely.
17.
If we sell enough VIP tickets for me to need 17 DMs for a prequel
We
one
will
shot,
find them.
I will find them. We will be playing outside. We'll be playing on the roof. We'll
Yeah.
be playing in the car park.
Can't play on the roof because we're having new solar panels installed next week
Roof adjacent. Just floating midair by
with
the
batteries.
roof.
But not double A's.
Oh. It's them
All
weird
right,
little
not the
disc
roof.
ones.
Or the field next door, but whatever. Yeah, we'll
Nice.
just get more DMs. I've got DMs. That's fine. It's not a problem.
So VIP tickets for next
Zip.
year not only get... Are we doing this for certificates again?
Premium field certificate.
Lanyards again?
Lanyard.
Papa John's
Papa John.
pizza
They,
sauce
they get Papa John.
and an exclusive one shot.
Prequel one shot where the impact of that one shot will affect the game the next day. And it's also designed to give more information for the players so they get more out of the game. They understand why they're doing things in more detail.
Would you? One of the bits of feedback I think we had from somebody as part of the Q&A was about continuing characters throughout the year.
Yeah,
Would you expect VIPs to maybe play their characters for the big day on the night before?
yeah,
Nice.
definitely, 100%.
That's great as well because you can get a feel for your character.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Ooh, sign me up. I'll have one.
Excellent. Tickets are available soon. Well, actually, by the time you listen to this, now.
Yeah.
It's the first tickets go on sale for our members at the AGM. And then we will release general sale shortly after that.
Perfect. Sounds awesome.
Andy and John are both DMing. They don't know it yet, but they are.
Very nice.
See?
And talking of Andy and John DMing, because you were DMs for the Wanvil.
Yes.
You were. So how was it for you guys getting prepped and ready for the day? Because this was a pre-written adventure that was given to you this time.
So it was my first time doing a 12-hour. So as soon as Ash kind of sent through the adventure, I read it like straight away. I was like, cool, right, I know what I'm doing. Then didn't read it for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and then was rereading it like a week before.
The day before.
Yeah, it was the day before. I think I sent you a question going, where does this happen? It was definitely different, I think, from anything I've run before because it was pre-written and the way it was written. So I'm colourblind and it was colour-coded, which really didn't help me. Like, I just found it really, really hard with the background. So I had to ask poor Ash. Send me a message going, can I have it without a background, please? And then, like, can I have this? Can I have that? So I ended up actually taking the document and cutting out all the stuff that was nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
So I had a much shorter one, like because it had the player stuff at the start as well,
Yeah.
like getting rid of everything I didn't need to run the adventure out of it. Then going through it and kind of going, I don't think that's going to take as long, adding stuff in. To be honest, most of the time I was determined to have painted miniatures. So I was printing and painting miniatures was where 90% of my prep went. Perhaps maybe a bit more should have got into reading the adventure. But, you know, good fun. What about you, Ando?
Yeah, I followed a similar line. I mean, whenever I run one of Ash's pre-written ones, I read through it. I do make a few subtle changes.
Changes? You sent me a message saying, can I bin off half your adventure and do what I want instead?
So I will make some subtle changes to really kind of fit in with my presentation style. So, you know, some of the wording I will change. But predominantly it's because, as you know, I like to use my painted models, and the selection of monsters he's put in there I don't have. So I think, well, okay, well, what can I substitute that for? And then those that aren't painted, I will make sure they're painted. Yeah, I mean, I always enjoy running these games, partly because the big pressure of actually creating a story is taken away from me. So I'm shit at creating stories. Love running them, can't think of them. But yeah, it was pretty much creating the maps, putting those on because I always use the digital maps. So adding the animations and the sound effects to those. Thinking about what magic trick I want to sort of incorporate. Yeah.
And talking of a magic trick, how many times did you practice the magic trick at the beginning of the event?
Didn't need to.
Before.
This one's self-working. I don't need to practice it at all.
So
it happens.
For the members who were at the event, you will remember the slight health and safety hazards that
one
occurred.
Ah, yeah. No, that wasn't the magic trick I used in the actual game. This was.
Okay.
The one I used in the game was something completely different. Yeah, the one I did in my health and safety intro. Yeah.
So Andy was giving a very wonderful health and safety intro on the stage at the front of all of the attendees, and he has a nifty little wrist device that he can make himself seem like a wizard, and he shoots his hand out and then a flame bursts out from his wrist, and he went to do it, but it didn't work. So then he turned it towards his face, and as it came towards his face, it then went off and he nearly burnt his face off. Yeah. Which was wonderful juxtaposition against the fire exits are here and here.
Yes, I can see now with hindsight, I can see how that may have been contrary to the health and safety message I was trying to deliver at the time.
Yeah, but it was good. I think it
was good. It was good.
It broke the ice for some people who may have been a little bit nervous on the day.
Laughed.
And
people
relaxed them up.
at my near-death experience.
Yeah, and it's
okay, we're insured.
The spectacle set you up for a good position when you then later won the award for the DM.
Didn't think about that, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah. Which was very well deserved. So, as part of the preparation, did you come across any particular challenges that you had to kind of overcome? And John, you've already mentioned the colour issue.
Yeah, I had colour issue. I had to reread a couple of bits a few times, and I think the only other part of it really was taking some, I suppose, of the little like generic descriptions and trying to work out from some of the descriptions you put in of like what do I need to take out of that? What do I need to keep? Because it's quite important around some of the characters and locations to describe them in the right way, so it's consistent with other games going on. And what do I need to add in to actually make it? Because everyone was in different areas.
Yeah.
So my guys were in the forest the whole time. So it's like, what do I need to add in to describe that sort of stuff? So, various different bits and pieces like that. But to be honest, mostly for me, it's time. Time prepping and reading and then going, like doing about like half an hour in an evening and then going, okay, the next night you sit there and go, right, I'm doing the next bit. Where was I again? Have I done that bit? I've done that bit.
Yeah.
Just time.
How about you, Andy? Any challenges that you came up against getting ready?
I think the only challenge, and with all due respect, Ash, the only challenge I had was that in the story...
Don't start my counterbalance. I'm not my counterbalance.
In the story, there was the bit where we had the map and we had the red circles highlighting where the world anvils were. And they were on the map in relation to all the major cities. And if you looked at where the red circle for near Nagoldian was, on the scale of it, it was probably a good 500 to 1,000 miles away. And yet in the story, you can see the lights of Nagoldian down below you. And I thought, no, that didn't quite work. So I kind of skipped over the map bit to try and so they didn't pick up on the fact that actually we were a lot further away from...
I think you give your players a little bit too much credit because our table definitely didn't pick up on that. None of us went, hang on a minute. The scale of this map introduces the idea that would be impossible. So, yeah, that's just you being a little bit too intelligent, I think, when it comes to maps.
I had Chris lay on my table and I knew full well we would try and pick something up and trip me up.
At least you could just throw me under the bus.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure you did.
But no, I mean, I don't have problems running these games. I think Ash does an incredible job, and he makes.
Thank you.
He does make them very unusual. So the way that we had different tables running at different levels, and we could use this archinometer to bring people from one table to another to make use of their skills in a scenario that we were actually facing, and. And that's something I would never have dreamt up in a million years. But I thought it was fun. I thought it was so much fun. Just grab. Apart from when I'm twice when my poor table, who were the lower levels, were facing a very, very tricky opponent. And by the way, we need this person, and they just buggered off with one of my bloody players.
Well, I was a player on the day, and. From a player's perspective, the levels was an absolute nightmare because the player pack that I read said you needed a level 3, 4, 8, 10, 12 and 14. So, being as I was taking Daddy along, I created 4 characters at each of those levels, 2 for me. And 2 for Dad.
Ash is physically hiding behind him.
And so we started the game at our level 3 characters, and then we got to a point, and one of the other people on the table used a spell, and the rest of us are looking at each other like, you shouldn't have that spell at level 3. And they were like, what do you mean? I'm level 8. I'm like, what do you mean you're level 8? And it turned out that none of us had a character sheet at the right level. So I then had to manually level up both mine and my dad's characters when we leveled up, because we went 8, 9, 10, 11 on our table. So just a thought for the future games. Maybe just have the different levels, but have them consistent at every table so that both the DMs and the player knows what level they should be.
Now about that.
You should have read the first player pack that said create a character from level 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
I think that's probably the one that I was referring to, and I just had everything. I had a tree's worth of paper with me because I don't use it online. I use physical paper in my hand, and I could have knocked someone out with the amount of paper I had.
I can only apologise. It did change, and I thought we had communicated it enough, but obviously we hadn't, because you weren't the only person in that situation. And unfortunately, when we run these events, things change. So what we changed it to was you should have made a 4, 8, 12 and 16, which meant that no matter which table you were on, you had the starting level, and then you would just have to level up a couple of times from there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think it's tricky though, isn't it? Because you don't know who's going to be where before the game starts. You know, with people dropping out, we sometimes even have to drop a table or whatever, don't we? So it's hard. And I know the guys on my table were like, "Oh, we're going 4, 5, 6, 7." And I was, oh, that's a shame. I've got an idea of what my character would be like at 18th level or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
So.
And talking about the different levels and the different tables, an interesting element that we had for the World Anvil was the possibility to pull a player from another game into your game. Where did that come from? Because similar-ish thing has been done previously, but not quite to that.
Yeah, we had Masquerade of the Fae, didn't we, where you were swapping tables, but this is a bit different. So I was in the car on the way up to Momo's, and I think it was Ollie and Niall were in the car with me, and Niall was just chatting about Adventurers League and how they do their big epic games and how tables interact with each other. And I thought that's quite a cool idea. It's like your table's no longer isolated. It's like you can use other tables. Like, how can we make that work? How can we get that interaction? And I had this idea of teleporting players around. So we tried it at Masquerade of the Fae. It was good fun. A bit chaotic, but it was good fun. Then we tried it at Momo's with the Arcanometer, exactly how it worked at World Anvil, but for the Momo's events. That worked really, really well. It was a lot of fun. Players were trying to screw other players over. They were doing things that they weren't really expecting. People would ask me for things. I'd kind of give them what they wanted, but not really. So that was good fun too. And so that was kind of the testing ground. And then when World Anvil hit, I think the moving players around went really, really well. And actually became a tool as well where I was unable to use that to help with DM pacing. So if the DM was falling behind, I could give them a player from somewhere else or heavily encourage them to get a player from somewhere else. Or if a DM was running ahead, I could take a really powerful character off their table to slow their game down a little bit. So actually it works on multiple levels. But I enjoyed myself as well. And selfishly, from my point of view, it gets me involved in the games rather than me just being sat there watching, taking photographs. And if you watch some of the lives back, if they're still on there, I'm doing like a Facebook Live and then someone suddenly triggers an Arcanometer. I'm like, oh, well, I guess we're doing this one live then. And there's one live where I think I did 3 Arcanometer moves on the bounce online and my phone's like this going everywhere.
Yeah.
You can't watch it. It's probably unwatchable. But it was good fun. I enjoyed it.
How was it for you guys as DMs?
I loved it. The table we were on was quite a low level table, so I think one of the puzzles they needed to burn spell slots to get through the walls. By the point they got there, they triggered everything. Like they decided to fight the harpies at the top. They fought the tree. Like they were tapped. So they call over to get. I think Lizzie came and joined us, and she was 14th level wizard or something like that. So she clears this thing for them. She disappears. They jump over the first one, and of course all the barriers come back up, and they're then stuck in the middle and still trying to get this. It's just so funny. But it was great because I think it was. Yeah, it gave them an out when they needed it. I know when they got called to other tables, I think Zeke got called over to Ruben's table.
Yeah, he was on our table.
Came back literally like 2 minutes later going, they just slapped me and told me I was useless and sent me back.
That was my character that slapped him,
You're useless, go back. And I didn't have any balance problems because of it. You kind of had to think on your feet as to... what class are you? Who are you? Okay, cool. Right, off you go, kind of thing. But then you kind of, based on how the question was asked, like when we got Lizzie, it was like, we need spell slots. Like, okay, cool, we're going to get a wizard. Or something like that, So it wasn't too bad to manage.
How about you, Andy? You already said it was a bit tricky because your players got pulled away, but did you enjoy it?
It was tricky from, like the couple of occasions where one of my players pulled away. But it was still fun.
Yeah.
Because it kind of meant they had to adapt as a team in order to continue. But it also was helpful. I mean, I was dreading the last fight because, you had all these elementals. And between them, I think the 4 elementals had about 1,200 hit points. And my players were only going to be level 7 at that point.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, how are they going to do it? But by pulling in a level 20, all of a sudden it became a different story.
Yeah.
Becca came in on my table and it really helped. So I thought it was innovative and it was fun. And as a DM, it also gets you to see, rather than just the 4 or 5 or 6 players around your table, you get to engage with other players around the hall.
Yes,
absolutely.
And those players who are pulled from their table get to see other DMs and other players as well, and other characters. So in that regard, I think it makes it an even more engaging, more enjoyable event. So well done, Ash.
Thank you.
I got to see some people that I don't normally get to play with, because I think I had Nathan on my table for a bit, Lizzie, Chris Butler, Hayley, and Neil as well. And watching them just pop in, like Neil, before he'd help him, they all had to agree to owe him a favour. Like, he's not going to help him otherwise. But then it was the last fight, and he absolutely obliterated, or almost one-shotted a water elemental for him. So it was worth the call. But it's fun, I think, as a DM to suddenly get people on that you don't normally see. So.
We had an interesting experience on our table because we pulled someone in. We were looking for someone to help put out a fire. And we had a water genasi who was brought over but couldn't actually do anything with water. So I think that was Zeke, and I slapped him and sent him back again.
Did he give you the fire eggs, though?
We got that was what was brilliant. As we came over, people would give us this full introduction of, like, this is what I am, this is who I look like, and there's all this stuff. And then you go, right, can you do this? No. Okay, well, off you go then. And then when we got someone who came to our table, I think it was Chris Butler's character, he was grappling the boss enemy from another table when he arrived at ours. So we were dealing with 2 giant tree ants on fire that we're trying to put out, and then a boss fight comes in that none of us were prepared for. So we're trying to put out some tree ants, kill the boss at the same time.
Did you send the boss as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, the boss came with him because they were grappling him. And then he disappeared but left the boss. So we're just trying to fight this boss.
That's so funny.
And he brought up like these undead things, and we're just trying to put out a fire. All we need is water. That it was amazing. And it was interesting as well because it got introduced, but it didn't get used for a really, really long time on our table. It felt like ages, and I was like, I wonder if we're ever going to use it. And then it was just kind of mentioned. I was like, oh yes. So we had our little noise machine to make it go off. But it was such a cool thing because towards the end of the game, some tables had finished. So we were still going a little bit longer, and we brought people in, and they're like, we don't know what to do with this elemental. And I was like, oh yeah, that one you want to use ice, that one you want to use wind, that one. And so we're like, brilliant, we know how to get rid of this. And they were just obviously a much higher level than we were, and then they were just putting in damage. It's like, thank you very much and goodbye. It was an awesome idea. I loved it.
I enjoyed it. Some of those players, or some other players, actually played for longer than 12 hours because they would do their game, and then they'd finish, and I was still sending them to other tables.
Yeah.
So they put in a real shift. Like Neil, I think, was one of them. I think you had Martin Malone at one point on your table.
We had Lizzie came to us. Martin
right at the end.
No, we're Becca at the end.
Yeah.
Becca came from. Yeah. Becca was the same level though. She came from mine, didn't she, to balance up the table earlier?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was still
because we had our VIPs disappeared, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
It was good fun. What's interesting as well, and you kind of mentioned already, Bertie, is sat there waiting for people to use the Arcanometer. And it just takes one table, and the second someone uses it once, as soon as that gets used, I know that from there on it's chaos. Yeah. And it was the same at Momo's. It took a little while for the guys to use it, and once it was used, it's just non-stop. Yeah, which is great. I loved it.
And sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say it worked really well because as we were sort of walking around, everybody was about the same sort of place in the adventure as well. I don't know, there were sort of 1 or 2 rooms ahead, kind of in that first dungeon when people really started triggering it off, but it was close enough that no one knew too much. Yeah, absolutely. It was really good. That was something I was trying to keep an eye on, is where all of you were trying to keep people in roughly the same place, which you were. Yeah. So that was good too. So my question for you, Ash, though, is when we were calling you over and the guys were asking you for some random request, were you actively looking for things like, oh, he's grappling a monster, let's move
No.
them? Or is it just happened to be, you've got what's asked for, and whatever situation
I
goes
would
with you?
nearly always make the decision whilst at the table of the people who are asking, so I couldn't make the decision based on where they were or what they were doing. But I would deliberately not try and pick someone who exactly was what the players wanted.
Oh, nice. So it still gave us a bit of a challenge. That's cool. Okay. And then, given the fact that you were able to experience players from different tables, you had a bit more of a wider net to pick from, did you have a favourite PC from the day?
That's hard for me.
It's like picking a favourite child, isn't
It
it?
is a little bit. So from my table, the problem is they're all good, aren't they? It's really hard. So Phil played technically he was a Herringon, but he was a rat folk death cleric.
Right.
Basically up from the Underdark tunnels to scout the world. That was kind of his thing, and he was funny, like really, really funny. Also had Zeke playing Dave.
Yes.
Who has a very long title that I can't remember, but essentially is upset when stuff's not exactly, to regs, which made for some great role play moments. But they're all great. And some of the visiting ones, Lizzie's Wizard was funny when she joined up. Chris's Warforged was great. It's really it's good to see it.
I have to say, and I'm not saying this for arse licking or anything like that, but I had two VIPs on my table. So I had Carl and Josh from the James Anthony Foundation, and they never played D&D before. They were completely new to it. So I'd created their characters, I provided them models, I'd even created like a little crib sheet to help them get through the encounter phase. So this is what you should do at this level, and et cetera, et cetera. And the way they embraced it, I mean, the first time Josh, who's the young lad, killed anything, I said, okay, right, well done. So how do you want to kill it? Oh, well, I'm going to blow it up, and its head's going to land over there, and its arm's going to land over there, and its leg's going to land over there. And I was thinking, wow, this is incredible. Watching them just get sucked into the game and really embrace it. And originally they were going to leave about 1 o'clock, I think, but they were there until, 5-ish?
5, yeah.
Because they were just enjoying it so much. And that was fantastic. To see them really sort of engage and get drawn into the story and their characters and yeah, I mean, Josh was bonfire, right? Something like that, bonfire.
They loved it, and they gave some really great feedback about your game as well. How much they enjoyed it. Carl, who's the dad, he said to me, we just couldn't leave.
Yeah.
That we were having way too much fun, we just couldn't leave. They didn't want to leave when they did. They wanted to stay for the whole day. Obviously, we go through to like 9 o'clock at night with those games, and they live 2 hours away.
Ooh,
so
yeah,
bit of a trek.
Yeah.
That was such an incredible thing to actually have them there as well.
Absolutely.
It was so nice to be able to share the event with the people that the event is being run for.
Yeah.
So that was incredible. I was going to ask, it was going to be one of my next questions of how if we got any feedback from them and how they enjoyed it. And I think from that, it sounds like yes.
They told me on the day, I mean, obviously it's all about giving them the money at the end of the year. And the amount of money that we awarded on the day was like an interim value. There's still the rest of December to go at that point. And they said even with that money that we gave them then, we have basically paid for a year of their charity to run.
Yeah.
So we paid for their charity's operation for an entire year.
Yeah.
Which is exactly the impact we want to have. We want to have that kind of high level, massive impact, not a drop in the ocean, but actually making a difference to these small charities.
And I think it showed when you did that presentation, the look on their faces, it was just awe.
Yeah.
They were absolutely taken aback by how much we've done. And to think that we are doing that, playing games
nuts, isn't
that
it?
we bloody love. It's
crazy.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
That's what I say to people all the time is we're raising money for charity, but we're having fun while we do it.
Oh, God, yeah.
Everyone's enjoying themselves. It's literally win-win. There is no lose for anybody at all. It's amazing. Because I tell them throughout the year kind of what their pot is sat at. So sort of every other month or so I'll send them an email to let them know. Most of them don't forget about us, but knowing they were coming to the event, I didn't tell them.
Okay.
Hadn't told them the total for a little while, so when they came, it was a genuine surprise.
Nice.
I think it jumped from like $6,000 at the last time I told them, up to what 9,000 and something at the event, and it's gone up even more since then.
Yeah. Very,
It's amazing, really.
very
Yeah.
exciting. It was really good. And so having your favourite PCs or your favourite moments, I think, is maybe what I'm also interested to know, because they were very, even though the stories were the same on the tables, I think they were very different in the way that they were probably run and what happened. Do you have a favourite moment and also a favourite NPC that you can tell us about? They're thinking really hard.
So his eyes were up to the left, which is NPC talk for recollection.
So I
Oh,
think
NLP.
my favourite moment on our table is utterly ridiculous, but it just sums up players. So they were in the town, and there was this shop with the 5-legged stools.
Yes.
They just conversation went as it did, and they decided that the merchant was trying to fleece them about these 5-legged stools.
Mm-hmm.
So Phil had a bag of devouring. Is one of his magic items he picked up, and they managed to convince the shopkeeper to stick his hand into his lucky dip bag, and got the shopkeeper eaten in a pocket dimension.
Wow.
So we're also tracking good and evil
Yes, we were.
as part of it. So I wasn't quite sure which end of the spectrum that fell on, in all honesty, because the shopkeeper was also swindling people. It was made quite clear that if they help the people of the town, that would be classed as good. So I wasn't quite sure whether they'd help the people of the town or that was an evil act. They were like that the whole way through. Like, every good thing they did, I was putting ticks in the bad at the same time, kind of thing. Like,
Nice.
yeah. So, that's me. Andy?
Yeah, I had to think on my feet because in, I think, the third act, to try and pad a bit of time, I was trying to use some of those events that we were in that table, like the one with the guy with the 5 stools, that sort of thing. I was trying to use those, just the ones I hadn't used earlier, to pad them out. But by then, Kyle and Josh had left, so that's when Becca had come across to my table. So I said, right, we've got a merchant. You come across a merchant with a 5 stall. I've done that one. Okay, so you walk past that and you come across these 2 children playing. Done that one. So you walk past that. So that was comical. Not no one's fault. It was just funny to done that. So I sort of move on. Other than that, I think it's difficult to pick out a standout moment. Everything, the whole day was just brilliant from start to finish. It just seemed to fly by. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
There's such an atmosphere, isn't there? In the hall?
Yeah. So I'm rolling dice at 9 a.m. to sort of kick things off, and all of a sudden it's right. Everything's done, and where's the time gone? So I think next year 24 hours.
Maybe weekends go to 18 or 16. Give it a halfway point. I think for my table, because Rue was the DM, the NPC that he played of Tanith, you could physically feel the hate that the table had for this character. Not because they were, they weren't particularly evil. He just played it so well. It was one of these kind of guys. And he was so annoying. But it was so good. And I think we ended up getting him killed at the end by accident, air quotes. Because our table progressively seemed to get more evil as the game went on, which was interesting. We also had the bag of devouring, which I think we put an orc into to try and scare another orc, which was fun. But yeah, some of the NPCs in that game were, I think, some of the most fleshed out ones that we've come across, which was really fun.
So what was it that triggered? Because there was someone. It might have been Becca, but it was someone else on another table that she said something, and Rue had to suddenly get up and run round the halls.
Oh, God.
She got shifted to your table.
Yeah,
didn't
so
she?
we had some magical items that you could get towards the beginning of the game, or at the shop you could buy some stuff, and one of them was a bag of screaming stones, which if you got the stones out and chucked them, they just screamed. So what was happening is she came across to our table, she helped us out by giving us these stones that she charged with magic to help us get through one of the things. So we're like, here, have these stones to replace the ones that you're giving us. So when she went back onto her table or any other table and she chucked one, Rue was like, let me know. So he would get up and just run across the room screaming as one of the stones. It was amazing. So we just something, and then she'd be like, oh, by the way, he's like, sorry guys, gotta go. And he just belted it across the room screaming. But with no context, I can understand how that would be very weird, but for us it was brilliant.
It is weird, but I think in that situation you just kind of accept it.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Oh, right, something must have happened on that day. Was it a magic item?
Oh, interesting. Oh, what was that?
I'm trying to think when she actually used them. She came back to our table and she went, oh, Rue's given me these screaming stones. When I throw them, he'll run across the room screaming. And we're like, you what? And she's like, look, watch. I don't think she actually used them on anything particularly important.
She's still got some left over, and I think she was asking if she can carry them over to next year.
I think,
Nice.
yeah, why not? Yeah,
Yeah,
fine.
sure.
Yeah. Just to see if Rue remembers, though. She's like, Rue, by the way. He's like, I don't, what do you want? You need to run around screaming? I'm sorry, why?
I don't feel like he'd need a huge amount of encouragement to carry that over
No,
to
he
next
wouldn't.
year.
No, he'd be well up for that.
So, given the, well, world-changing impact of the day, what was the kind of outcome for your table? Because on my table, it felt like there wasn't really a choice towards the end of what you were going to do. It's like you could or you couldn't, but you could or you couldn't, but then you could. How did your players deal with it?
So we had a bit of that, but our barbarian was holding the hammer. So whilst the others were negotiating, she just went whack.
Whacked the Wanville.
Whacked the Wanville. Thingy died, the elf. Whatever his name, you've forgotten his name. Tanith, he died. The elemental thing, massive elemental rose up, and then there was quite a bit of discussion at the top of the hill as to how much they care about the city and whether this is just not their fight.
Oh,
There was
wow.
I genuinely thought it was going to be like, I said, it's okay. If you're going to walk away, we'll find something else to do for the next 3 hours. But, yeah, it's up to you.
Oh, my
But they
goodness.
ended up deciding to be heroes.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Andy?
Yeah, my guys from the outset were pretty good. So, fortunately for me, there was never any doubt as to what they wanted to achieve, and that was to save the world.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't take much encouragement to get them to strike the anvil with the god hammer. I think once they saw what happened afterwards, they were a little taken aback. But even then, the little bit of Callum and Becca being taken off with you to draw lines on maps and whatever. They came back, and you could see they went, I want to say something, but they suggested they weren't allowed to.
I told them they can tell the part of the table whatever they want to.
Oh, they didn't say anything.
Okay.
So they, we talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
say to you, was it kind of how you thought it would go? Was
It
there
was
ever
so
an
much
option
better.
to not hit it?
Oh, of course there was. There was an option to not hit it.
Okay.
But that's boring. If they hadn't hit it, then there'd be less cracks in the world.
Okay.
The map would have just changed. So they would still have had an impact, but through their omissions rather than their actions.
Okay.
But that was good fun taking people in. So I just used the goose in the end because it was pretty empty by that point. But originally the plan was to have a gazebo on the stage and have it lit with like fairy lights and stuff inside.
Okay.
But I just couldn't quite get it to work out time-wise and space-wise. I thought we might end up needing to use a stage for table and stuff like that. But we used the goose, took people in there, and everyone was given the same instruction. Put the pen on your world anvil location. Draw one continuous line that goes from your world anvil location to any of the 4 edges of the map. That was it. And so most people just did a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
Neil did a spiral. So he literally spiraled outwards. And I ended up laying all the maps out at the end of the event, didn't I? So you could all see what all the lines were. Absolute chaos.
Yeah.
And what I then did after the event was I scanned them all in on top of each other. So I ended up with one map with all of the lines on. And I cut out every single line, put it all on another sheet of A3 paper, spread it all apart, and then glued it all down.
Wow.
So we've got a new world map. So I already know what the kind of continents look like and where the cities are and stuff like that. We've developed some new lore which holds 2 of those new continents together. So we don't split everything up quite as much as we did. We've rotated and twisted parts as well as spreading things out. That now all needs... So I've then used tracing paper to build layers up so I can overlay where like jungles and woods and lakes, rivers, mountains, cities and stuff are. That all then needs to be scanned in and sent off to an artist who's going to actually transform it into a proper map.
Wow.
Without giving too much away from what I've seen so far, there are certain locations, and again I won't name, but they seem to, the split seems to have gone straight through a city, for example. So is the plan that the city is now pretty much half its size and the rest is just going to the sea, or have the plates moved and the city is in 2 halves now, but with a sea between them?
Both, dependent on the city and where it was originally and how things have moved.
Okay.
There's other wider implications, so that is a huge implication. But hell is hung off the bottom of the world by chains. So now those chains are moved. What's happened to hell? Nageldeer has become dangerously close to the edge of the map. What does that mean for them?
That kind of leads me into what would be my next question. What are the far-reaching effects of the events that happened?
Well, there's a few of them. The 2 locations that haven't actually moved are the planar portals. So the magical ley lines are still intact, so they're still there. But obviously because things have moved, those kind of hubs of central magical activity now are in different locations in kind of conjunction to where the ley lines run. So their effect on magic will be different. So places that are very magically charged, like the Astral Academy or Ravenborn, for example, they're going to be quite heavily affected. Politically, the world is in absolute ruins. So regions have literally fractured. So where Thelsari was the biggest single region of the world, that's now not the case anymore. It's fractured into about 12 pieces. And Thelsari's tiny. So what does Lady Oladan do with all the other stuff? And who's looking after all that stuff? And what about those continents where there isn't a city? There's nothing. What happens to them? The biggest one was Josh McGregor, who was on Ant's table on the day. He drew around the Sarahire Desert. No other line went through the Sarahire Desert.
Wow.
So that got moved out, and the desert is just now its own continent. So that means we're going to see an uprising of the Els Camus people in the Sarahire. They're going to become a much more prevalent part of the world because they're not challenged anymore. When you think about just campaigning in the world, and I know John on our Tuesday night game is going to have a huge impact, ocean travel now is so much more important because you can't really go anywhere without there being an ocean in the way. So you're going to have to get boats, you're going to have to sail. So that's going to become a much bigger part of games in the world.
You say that though, the early images that you kind of shared with people is the islands themselves that have been created are not small still though, are they?
No, they're huge.
They're still massive because the world is huge.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge.
Absolutely, yeah. So you could zoom in on one island and we could really go into detail on that island.
Yeah.
So you might find in future games we just pick an island and we use that game to populate that island and do stuff there.
Nice.
So we're going to get more granular detail in the world than we've ever had before. One of my favourite bits. Can I share a bit of lore?
Of course.
I'll share a bit of lore. It's out with a book. It's called The Mage's Overpass. So Dragonmount split into 2. The Archmagister was concerned about the other half of their region, so there's a whole story coming in the book about this. They basically made a magical bridge that bridges the 2 parts of the continent together. That's the first superstructure of the Allhavens, and it's made out of arcane energy. The problem is that bridge has to be continually sustained by magical energy. So the Archmagister has an agreement with Lord Astral from the Astral Academy, where Lord Astral seconds senior students to the Archmagister of Dragonmount to maintain this bridge as like a work placement kind of deal. And then they just get cycled out as...
Quite unethical, you know.
Very unethical.
Wow.
Very, very unethical. As part of that whole story, the Archmagister reached out to Grief Screen and Ravenborn, who just flat refused to help because he thinks magic's getting out of control. When they made the bridge, Zaphon appeared and interrupted.
Oh. And this is all in the book that's coming out. Oh.
Yeah, that's all in the book.
Get it, guys. Get it, guys.
That's just one part. It's the biggest part of the lore that I've written in the new book, but yeah.
And I guess for us, the biggest question is going to be how and when might this impact the Nat Pun podcast?
So in the book as well, there's a little bit that talks about long-running campaigns, and basically it says be patient. Be patient with your DM and let things play out how they need to play out naturally rather than forcing your DM to effectively fracture the world. But a time will come in the podcast where you three will feel the world break.
Ooh, wow. That's pretty exciting.
And I know when that will be as well.
Goodness me. Okay. Last couple of topics, just things left over from the WORLD ANVIL, is that on the day we had some awards that were given out. We've already previously mentioned our wonderful Andy, who was the winner of the Jack Sunaway Dungeon Masters Award. Congratulations. Clap, clap, clap. We also had some other awards. We had our unluckiest players. So those people are the ones who've rolled the most nat 1s or the most nat 20s. And I have to talk about the luckiest player. Because I believe there were rumours abounding, but I believe the count of nat 20s was stopped around the 40 mark.
Correct.
For this person.
It was north of 40, but we just stopped counting because there's no point.
And the winner of that one was
Becca.
I had a sneaky peek at the dice that were somehow getting that many. You wouldn't even think of them and look at them and go, I mean, they were beautiful dice. They were beautiful dice. But you wouldn't necessarily go, that's suspicious.
I think it was the dice tower she bought from Toucan Crafts. She bought a new dice tower.
Okay.
Nice dice tower as well. Huge dragon.
Okay. So for anybody looking to get some better numbers, maybe have a shimmy over to Toucan Crafts, which brings me on to the one other topic is the vendors that we had. So we had 2 vendors this time, whereas previously we've technically 3.
Technically, yeah.
3. So we had the Toucan Crafts, which she's been at, I think, almost all of the events so far. And we also had a new vendor this year, which was the Wellwood Studios.
Yep.
So shout out to both of you guys. Thank you so much for coming and supporting. We really appreciate you, and we hope to see you back again soon. And the other awards, we had the painting competition.
We did.
We didn't have any. I don't think we had any fancy dress this time. I don't remember seeing any.
No, Josh from the James Anthony Foundation came dressed as a Stranger Things character with a handmade Vecna mask, which was quite cool, wasn't it?
Oh, yes, that was. I did see that. That was very cool.
So he's one in spirit.
Yes. But then for the painting competition, who were our winners for that one?
So we had 2 categories. We had single hero and monster. Phil won the single hero with his Mordecai figure, which was a turtle druid that he plays with in our campaign on Tuesday night.
Nice, very nice.
Very nicely done. And then it was, I want to make sure I get the right brother. It was Jackson with his Seraphon, I can't remember what it's called, Troglodon, I think it's called. It's like a giant dinosaur with a lizard riding on top. Is it called a Troglodon? Troglodoth?
Something like that.
Something like that.
They were amazing. All of the entries were incredible, but it's so nice to see. So if you come to any future events, bring along or be prepared to see some incredible painting work.
Both Andy and John have also won the painting award at previous events, haven't you?
And there was an additional gift that was offered up for the painting competition, and there was a little part of me in the back of my head that was like, Andy offered up do you not remember this? You offered up a prize for people.
Yeah, I'm just trying to wait and see where this is going.
And I was like, has Andy entered into the painting competition? And is he just trying to win back his prize? But that was very generous of you. That was very
It
sweet.
was. Thank you.
Yes, I
That's
did.
wonderful.
I did enter the competition, but I wouldn't have wanted to win it back because I've already got one.
Oh, okay. It was a spare. Fair enough.
It was very generous of you, though. Thank you.
Well,
It's very nice.
welcome.
So then we've got, I guess, where we've talked about the event, it's all about fundraising. We raised an incredible amount this year, and we're hoping to, if we can, if we're lucky, do even better next year. But we had got a question from our community, which is, what are some non-monetary ways that people can help to support the guild?
Come and wash my car.
Back to nipple tassels again.
Yeah, you got to be wearing nipple tassels. It's got to be -3 degrees.
Wax on, wax off, and nipple tassels.
Yeah.
Takes some serious skill.
Back to Bertie's original question.
Yeah.
2026 for us as a charity is all about growth, and it's all about bringing more people into what we do, which will have a monetary benefit, but also it means we can have a bigger impact on communities across the country. So bringing friends to events, telling people what we do, sharing our posts, getting people to listen to the Nat Pun podcast, getting people on the Discord server, posting on the Discord server, talking to other members, all that kind of stuff doesn't cost you anything, but that growth of our charity is going to have a massive, massive impact. By the time this comes out, we'll have already had the AGM, so we've already spoken about it a little bit, but there's plans in place to help grow what we do. And that means if the demand is there, we can run more events, we can do more games. We've got more events than ever in 2026. Our event offering is huge, and we want to sell every single event out. So get the word out there, speak to your local gaming stores, anyone who will listen, clubs, whether you play in school with friends in school, talk to your friends in school, bring them along to events. If you're on forums or Facebook groups or other Discord servers, just talk about us. Just raise awareness of what we do. And the more people that are aware of us, the bigger the impact we're going to have on these small charities that desperately need the help and desperately need the money to do some pretty incredible things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just engage with us.
Yeah.
Engage with us and others. Getting the word out is the best way.
Word.
Word. Any other thoughts, gentlemen? As they suspiciously eye each other across the table.
Why is it? As soon as anyone says that, everyone looks at me.
Because it normally means it's going to be a joke or a magic trick. Or
No.
Because there is only 3 other people at the table, and my eyes can't focus on all of it at the same time. I'm going cross-eyed. Yeah.
No, I'm good. That's,
Okay.
well, I'm not good. But,
You're very good.
Very good.
All right. Well, thank you very much for listening. We hope you've enjoyed this community episode, and we will catch you all next week. Take care. Ta-da. Say bye, guys.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Just a shout out to our Ruby members: Josh, Alberta, Paul C, Dave, Rock, Claire, Laura, and Jason.
Our Sapphire members, Gary and Kylie, and Emerald member, Stuart.
Diamond Geezers, we've got the amazing Andy, the bad Bertie, Jolly John, Naughty Neil, Zany Zeke, Chuckling Chris. What are you laughing for? Marvellous Martin. Stop laughing and interrupting my segments. Dashing Dave and also Ash.
And our Obsidian member Niall, and our Ruling Council members JP and Chris Butler Thompson. Thank you to all of you for your continued support, and don't forget, if you want to shout out, come and join us on patreon.com/CharityDND.